A Capitol rioter, colloquially known as the Helmet Boy, recently caused a little bit of a stir during his hearing after he rejected a plea agreement after previously demanding one and has decided to represent himself. Okay. So this is an odd story. Give you some details here. So the person's name is Zach Allen, although Helmet Boy seems to work pretty well. Perhaps he should have worn his helmet before he went to the Capitol insurrection instead of waved it around smashing windows, but okay. So now he was captured on video, of course, using a riot helmet, smash a window to the speaker's lobby on January 6th, and told a federal judge on Tuesday that he has decided to represent himself in the case against him as general counsel, and that his attorney was merely a assistant, according to a report from an investigative reporter named Scott MacFarlane. Following Allen's outburst at a hearing last month, when he demanded that prosecutors make him a plea offer, the judge decided to mute his microphone. This was over Zoom for most of Tuesday's virtual hearing. And so it's funny. He had a hearing last month, and he decided to get a little mouthy. The judge said, all right, well, enough of that. We're going to mute him in the next hearing. And so that next hearing, of course, happened earlier today. And so he said, we're not going to have any disruptions in this hearing today. Are we clear? Court staff told Allen at the start of the hearing. Apparently, though, it was not clear enough after defense attorney Michael Lawler announced that his client was rejecting the government's offer, the offer that he asked for. Okay. Allen tried to interject, but was rebuffed by the judge. When he was finally able to speak, he said this, quote, I need the offer stated for the record. He's my lawyer. I'm general counsel for my own case. I want to know what it is. My lawyer never contacts me. That's interesting. The judge then declined the request and advised him to discuss the matter further with his lawyer. Now, MacFarlane reported that Allen was trying to argue that he is defending himself. Judge cut him off, court muted him, then sent him back to a private breakout room with defense attorney. This was a mess. I feel like this thing is a result of when someone has never had to face consequences before for their actions. At least not serious consequences. Oh, you want to represent yourself? Well, knock yourself out. Have at it, man. You seem to be already doing pretty fantastic getting muted by the judge. I mean, it's absolute clownery, but I mean, you realize that one of the reasons, at least in my mind, you would think that one of the reasons that the judge is muting him is partly for his own benefit, so he doesn't say something outrageously stupid and makes his own situation worse. That's my read of the situation. Maybe I'm being a little bit too charitable. It also could be just the fact that the judge knows that he's dealing with a clown, and so he had to prepare for the circus. Whatever the reason, again, it just really shows you that we're not dealing with serious people here. Demand a plea deal. On what grounds do you demand a plea deal? Why should they? Why shouldn't you be thrown in a hole in the ground for doing what you did? Not that, no, you know what? I'm not calling for his rights to a fair trial to be infringed. No. I'm just trying to figure out what's the end game here. What is he doing? Like, what is your legal strategy? I'm going to go on a limb and say there isn't one. There isn't one. And he's just desperately flailing around because he doesn't want to face the consequences of his own actions. Again, it's the same old story. So now what's important here is, well, the people that are behind these people, okay? The Republican Party, some members of the Republican Party have came to the defense of these January 6th insurrectionists being held in jail before their prison dates. Or, I'm sorry, before their court dates. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a good example. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, they went on a nice little tour, and they called these people political prisoners. Oh, they're political prisoners. No, you literally broke into the Capitol building, you know, private property, smashing windows, smearing feces, yelling threats at lawmakers. Let me tell you, if a black person did half of that, these right-wingers would be calling for that person to be put under the jail, under the prison, not just in the prison. Okay, so that's the issue here. There's some hypocrisy going on, but there's others too. A former Trump campaign staffer, Matt Braynard, has been pushing the same narrative. Now, you might not have heard that name, but you have definitely heard that narrative. In fact, according to a report in BuzzFeed that recently came out, Braynard was a key voice in trying to whitewash the actions of these January 6th Capitol insurrectionists. Braynard, according to the report, has led protests for the release of various rioters, calling them political prisoners, even though only a small handful of violent and dangerous individuals were denied bail outright, and saying that their release is, quote, get this, the modern civil rights struggle of our time. Oh, yes. Oh, God, look at that irony, right? Oh, they're calling this insurrectionists being held before their trial dates the modern civil rights struggle of our time. Oh, these people fighting for civil rights. What civil rights? What civil rights? You're not fighting for civil rights. You were fighting to overturn an election that you lost because your guy lost in a fair election. Because, look, there were numerous reasons why Donald Trump lost. The biggest one, I think, was actually COVID. Before COVID, I was real iffy on Biden's chances because, you know, I'm not a big Biden fan. And so I didn't see the appeal of people voting for him, even though at the end of the day, I did. But at the same time, like, Trump did disastrous on COVID, and that was enough to have the election here. That did not go in his favor. So now there's more. He also has taken credit for the martyrization of Ashley Babbitt, the rioter who was shot and killed while trying to force her way through a broken Capitol window. Her cause has since been taken up by Trump. Braynard also is organizing another rally for September 18th, telling longtime far-right activist, American strategist Steve Bannon on his show that, quote, it's going to be huge. Backed up by these people, why would you, if you were in that position, take responsibility? You wouldn't. Why wouldn't you demand a plea deal when you have these prominent politicians and a former president that is literally on your side? Again, these people, they don't actually believe that anything they did was wrong. They just don't. They thought, no, the only thing that we did wrong was fail. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.